Now I want your calls on something very different. Should men and women be splitting the cooking 50-50? Model Abbey Clancy has revealed that footballer husband Peter Crouch hasn't cooked a single meal for her in 20 years other than toast. Now, Abbey was speaking ahead of appearing on Cooking with Stars, where she is hoping to hone her own culinary skills. She said that her hubby might maybe have made her some pasta with chorizo once, but reckons that her daughter Sophia might be more proficient in the kitchen than her dad. So is it Pete's failure to cook a meal for his wife? Is that an outrage? Should couples be divvying up those duties in the kitchen? Let us know how you do it at home and what you think about this. 0207 862 2222 is the number to give us a ring. Peter, I'm going to start with you, only because you have made an admission to our researchers that you haven't made a meal for your wife in years, and actually, from memory, maybe decades.
I hang my head in shame, but cooking is really not my department at home. In my defence, you know, I do the bins. My wife never goes anywhere near there, and we have a rule that whoever cooks doesn't wash up. So I do the overwhelming majority of the washing up and the dishwasher and all of that. But cooking, pots, pans, prepping, chopping, all of that, nah.
It really surprised me, because I remember you telling me that actually when your kids were younger, your wife was going out to work and you were actually the predominant caregiver.
Yeah.
So it really surprised me that you weren't doing your share of the cooking, because how on earth can you look after small kids and not be feeding them all the time?
When they came home from school and they were hungry, fish fingers featured, as did the occasional omelette, which I learnt how to cook.
Oh, that's not bad.
A bit of a ham pasta, all those very sort of simple things. But as soon as the dynamic in the family changed, in that we all had dinner
Cooking was off your duty list.
Then back to Sarah, and I washed my hands of all of that.
Well, Ava, I find this an interesting scenario, because actually we're not talking about pink jobs and blue jobs here when it comes to Peter's house. We're just talking about jobs that you're maybe not very good at, and jobs that you might have more strengths at.
Yeah, I actually think that sounds totally fair. I think if you're splitting the workload like that, that makes total sense. What I don't like is the second shift that some women have to do in their households, where they go to work all day, they come home, they do the cooking, they do the cleaning, and then the husband might, you know, begrudgingly take out the bins a couple of times a week. But it doesn't sound like you're doing that in your house at all. It actually sounds like a pretty good deal.
It does. It sounds fair, Peter. I wanted to give you a really hard time here, but I'm struggling to make up an argument against it.
I puff my chest out a little bit when I do the bins. I feel all manly.
So do I. That's how I feel when I do the bins.
Do you? I just feel disgusting and like I need a wash afterwards. Yeah. Especially when you get the drip, like somebody's put something sharp in it. It's now got a hole at the bottom.
Got to double bag
and then there's bin juice.
Double bag? He's double bagging and everything.
Well, there you go.
Wow.
Let's go to the phones then and see if we can get an argument against what you do at home, Peter. Dave from the Wirral, do you think Peter's setup's reasonable?
Well, I don't know what. I think every couple has their own setup.
I think you're probably right. But do you think that women should be doing the larger share of the cooking, which is what's happening at the moment?
Well, it all depends. I think generally, yeah. I mean, my wife and I, we've been married for over 40 years, and there's certain stuff I do that she doesn't do, and there's certain stuff that she does that I don't do. But the only thing I don't do is the ironing. You know, I do the cooking. This afternoon, the wife's gone out to meet her sister, so I'll make a stew. But yesterday, I was up on the garage roof, blasting it off, cleaning it off, because it needed repointed. Now, my wife wouldn't be able to do that.
Wouldn't be able to do it, or wouldn't want to do it?
No, she wouldn't be able to do it. She wouldn't be able to climb up on the roof and you know, blast it off. It's all too much like heavy work.
Well, I mean, I think that's the thing as well. Everyone has different skills in a household. I'm wondering, though, whether the jobs that you're talking about, it does sound a little bit like you're going down gender lines of the old pink and blue jobs.
Well, I've got to agree with you. I'm probably quite old and staid in my ways. There's certain things that, I mean, we do share each other's jobs, you know, but not all the jobs, you know.
I see what you're saying. You can actually...
I always wash the cars, always mow the grass.
See, OK,
you know,
now here's my complaint in this, Dave. And listen, it's worked for you and your wife for 40 years, so I am not coming in to try and change this. I'm just going to point out to you, Dave, that maybe your wife deserves some flowers or a foot rub, because actually her jobs are every day, pretty much consistently throughout the day, every week, of every year, continuously. Your jobs are maybe once a week, once a month, on occasion, and they're also high praise jobs. When you clean the car, you get a high praise for that. When the neighbour passes, they go, my, your car looks sparkling. You get high praise for that. When she serves you up a lovely meal, the third of the day, does she get high praise for that? Not entirely sure she will. When she washes everyone's dirty knickers in the washing machine, does she get high praise for that? Not sure she probably does. Everyone just expects those smalls to be clean and washed and dried in the drawer.
I do my own washing. I'll put the washing in. I'll hang the washing out. You know, I'll do the cooking.
You do your own.
The only thing I don't do in the house, and that is the ironing. So that's the only one thing I don't do.
But you wouldn't go near. I mean, I don't go near.
On the gender issue, after I've washed her car and cleaned the patio and made it all nice, the garden's lovely, why shouldn't I get some flowers? I love flowers.
Yes, but you already, Dave, you're absolutely right, and maybe you do deserve flowers. I'm not against that at all. I'm just saying that the jobs that you do already get the praise. This is why a lot of men in the household will cook Christmas dinner, but they don't cook all the way throughout the year.
Yes.
They're after that high praise, reactive stuff, so they're like, okay, the whole family's here, I'm going to show off, brilliant, and then they get that, isn't he just a fabulous cook? Whereas you don't do the day-to-day just like sludge of domestic duties. But Dave, if you deserve some flowers, I think you should get some. You sound like a wonderful man. Yeah. And actually, if ironing's the only thing you don't do, I don't do that in my house, but nobody does it. Nothing gets ironed in my house.
No, I mean, look at what I'm wearing. Everyone, like you can see right here, no one's doing any ironing in my house.
That looks fine to me, not a problem. Body heat does wonders for creases. Okay, we have some messages on this. So Kath on Facebook says, I think it surely depends. My husband does a shopping list and a meal plan from a spreadsheet. Well, they're very organised, Kath. I buy it and he lugs it out of the car and puts it away. We alternate between cooking and washing up. That all sounds very, very fair, Kath. Jane on Facebook says, play to your strength. I cook, my husband does everything else. Not sure that does sound very fair, actually, Jane.
Jane's got it. Jane's got it sussed.
Whatever's working for you, but I think playing to your strengths is probably fair.